they've not been able to find her yet. We have an unconfirmed tip that we received that somebody possibly saw someone who looked like her um, on Friday night in front of a grocery store. They've checked all the hospitals on the island. They've checked places that they visited prior the week that they were there on the island. They've also they're checking places that she kind of had on her list of where she wanted to go. We're searching. We're doing everything we can. We're throwing everything we can at it. If you can hear us, know that we're looking for you and we want to bring you home. Just come home to us.
Hi, Amanda. Thank you so much for joining us. So your friend Liz Wadell has been missing now since July 22nd while visiting the Caribbean island of Grenada, which I understand was a dream vacation. She went swimming solo and has not been seen since. How are you holding up?
We're trying to take it moment by moment right now. It's quite, emotional and fatiguing, as you can imagine.
So I understand you've known each other for a lot of years. Just talk to us the background of your friendship.
My husband and Liz's husband were college roommates and are best friends. They consider each other brothers. And they were both best mans at each wedding. And yeah, we vacation together multiple times a year. We camp together and um, just kind of adventure together and stuff like that. Always, daily phone calls are between Sean and Kaylin, and Liz checks in every once in a while. And we have a 16-year-old daughter who's extremely close to both of them. She refers to them as her aunt and her uncle. And we, yeah, we're just best friends.
You went away with another friend, Heather, your friend Liz. So tell us where exactly she went and what that was. That was a dream vacation for her that she'd planned.
Yeah, so she and her friend actually travel together probably once a year. And they pick a different island and go and explore it and immerse themselves and see what that island has to offer and see what the culture's all about. And so this year's pick was Grenada. And so they're in the St. George area and they were having a good time. They were scheduled to be down there for approximately 3 weeks. They were there having a good time. They were there a little over a week when she went missing, when we got the phone call on Wednesday. And they're still scheduled to come home this coming Friday. So, yeah, it's not out of the ordinary for Liz to travel. She has the adventure bug and she's a free spirit and she's very curious. So,
And where was she last seen? And talk to us about the last communication that she had with Heather and with her husband.
as far as it's been relayed to me, she was in a swimsuit and had a towel. Heather, her friend, had to finish up an online course and she, as in Liz, went out. Their Airbnb overlooked the bay, and so she went out, and I guess she was going to hang out there until Heather finished her online coursework. And Heather finished her online coursework, and she didn't see Liz when she looked out, so she went out to walk about and see if she could find her. And all she found was her towel that was supposedly on the pier. And she went back to the Airbnb, realized Liz didn't have her phone or any of that with her. It was all in her room, and got worried. She called Kalen, Liz's husband, and then they had her reported missing with the Grenada police, who got on it, and started the search. Obviously, they took it seriously. Somebody goes missing in their country. And so they've been in constant contact with the police commissioner. They're throwing every resource they possibly can at this, resources that they have. And We're just asking anybody who has any details that could possibly lead us to her whereabouts to contact um, the authorities that are on her missing persons poster and just help us find her. No detail is too small.
And was this about 8 p.m. local time we hear that she went for a swim? Because I think there's
No,
been
no,
some
no, no,
difference
no.
of what time it
That's
was.
no, this is between 12 and 1 p.m. in the afternoon. No, she would not have gone for a swim at 8 p.m. No. No, I've seen that going around online. Everybody's saying she went to swim at 8 o'clock. What did she think? She did not go to swim at 8 o'clock at night. She was out in broad daylight in the middle of the afternoon.
And where is the search at the minute? Because obviously you told me previously today that there are about 10 family members, or about to be 10 family members and friends down there helping with the search. Where is the search at the minute, and is there anywhere that they've ruled out?
They've checked all the hospitals on the island. They've checked places that they visited prior, the week that they were there on the island. They've also they're checking places that she kind of had on her list of where she wanted to go while she was visiting the island. The Coast Guard has been out. They've had divers out for a few days. And even one of the glass bottom boat excursion companies, their boat operators just took the boats out and have been searching for her as well. So we're grateful for that. Um, they just they've not been able to find her yet. We have an unconfirmed tip that we received that somebody possibly saw someone who looked like her um on Friday night in front of a grocery store. Again, that is unconfirmed, and police are pulling surveillance for that today. Um so that's where we are right now. The search continues for Liz.
Where did that tip come in? Was that to police, or was that on social media?
I To be honest with you, I'm not sure if the police got the tip or if one of the family members got the tip and alerted the police.
So that gives you some hope, but obviously you would want to see for yourself the surveillance footage at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, we want to hope that she got out of the water, right? you know. Yeah.
What is your theory at the moment? I know your head must go to the worst, but what are your theories at the moment?
I mean, it would be speculation. It you know, I hope she got out of the water. I hope that, there wasn't an undertow or anything that was too strong that day. Um, but I do know that if she was in the water, you know, um, I don't think the Navy SEALs could withstand the water for this long. So treading that kind of water.
And have you been told what the conditions were like, whether it was quite shallow there as well? Explain what the area is like.
So the bay, apparently that day, the bay is pretty shallow, and the conditions supposedly were calm that day. That's what has been relayed to me.
And what was the last conversation you had with her before she disappeared? Did you speak to her just before she went on the vacation?
So yes, I did. We were camping together over the 4th of July. Our families spent 4 days together camping, and she was excited about going on this trip. She was really looking forward to exploring Grenada and seeing their cultures and everything, and just being immersed with the people. And we're kind of foodies, so she was definitely interested in the food scene. She had a hike scheduled for her and her friend to one of their waterfalls, and a local chef was going to cook for them. So, she was real excited about going on this trip and really looking forward to it.
And she's happily married, and she has an
She
adoptive
is.
daughter as well, and she's a physical therapist. Just talk to her about who she is.
She is. She's a doctor of physical therapy. She founded her own practice, Art of Movement, and, to rehabilitate people and feeling back to their best selves, get them, their best foot forward. She was working on that journey for herself as well. They do have an adult daughter. We do ask that her privacy remain
Yeah.
um anonymous at this time, for her security and just her privacy. As you can imagine, she's devastated. And so, you know, Liz was a friend to everyone. She never met a stranger. She was a ray of sunshine. She was a bundle of energy most days. And she was super curious. She loved to travel. She was an adventurer, a true one.
And is she still out there in Grenada? Is there anything you'd like to say to her?
Liz, we're searching. We're doing everything we can. We're throwing everything we can at it. If you can hear us, know that we're looking for you and we want to bring you home. Just come home to us.
And are you happy with how the search is right now? And is her husband happy with how much help is available? I imagine they're going out and giving out flyers and what she was last seen wearing and things like that.
Yes, we do know that the flyers have been making the rounds on the islands and other islands as well. And so, the people have been feeding them and making sure that they're taken care of and checking in on them, and trying to keep them as updated as possible. Obviously, there's only so many resources that the islands have. And so we're just asking for anybody who has resources that they love to put towards this to help us find her and bring her home. Please reach out.
And that area where she was swimming, is that somewhere there were no signs saying don't swim? Is that somewhere that is often used by tourists to go swimming?
I'm told that it is an extremely popular beach. That's where everybody heads and hangs out and swims.
And was she a very good swimmer? She a very good swimmer?
She could hold her own, she could, jump into the water off a rock and then swim back to so yeah. So she was, just kind of bobbing around.
You say she went out in a swimsuit. Do you know exactly what she was wearing?
So I don't have confirmation on the swimsuit. I thought that I did. It's possible that she was in a hot pink boy short bikini.
Okay.
But I do not have that confirmed.
And you hope to hear more on this tip this afternoon, and we'll stay in touch with you.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for speaking to us, and we're sending love to her family and friends and hope that she's found safe and well as soon as possible.
Thank you so much. We truly appreciate the chance to tell you about our friend Liz and our hope to bring her home. Thank you.
Royal Carnival security posture of the force. I wish to first provide an update on the missing person report involving United States citizen Elizabeth Liz Waddell. For the benefit of Ms. Waddell's family, the Grenadian public, and the international community, I will now set out the confirmed chronology of events leading up to the missing person report presently available for public release. Mrs. Waddell arrived in Grenada from Miami on 11 July 2026 on board American Airlines Flight 1546. She was accompanied by a female friend. During the first 10 days of their visit, they stayed at a resort on the western side of the island. On July 21st, 2026, they relocated to another accommodation in the south of the island. The following day, Wednesday, 22nd July 2026, surveillance footage recorded the following movements. At approximately 11:36 a.m., Mrs. Waddell was seen walking towards the jetty. She later sat on the sand near the jetty. At 11:46, she was seen on the jetty. She removed her towel and remained dressed in her swimwear. At 11:51 a.m., she entered the water. At 12:04 p.m., she was seen swimming beneath the jetty. At 12:46, her traveling companion was seen walking towards the jetty and later returned alone. Mrs. Waddell was not seen on surveillance footage returning from the water. Investigators have also received several eyewitness accounts indicating that she was seen swimming in the open water. At 5:50 p.m., her traveling partner reported Ms. Waddell missing to the South St. George Police Station. That report triggered an immediate police response, including an initial search of the premises, the surroundings, shoreline, and desperate searches of all of the areas in and around that resort. On Thursday, 23rd July 2026, the Royal Grenada Police Force issued a public missing person alert seeking information from the general public and from persons operating within Grenada's coastal and marine environment. Our investigative activities. The investigation is proceeding along a number of connected lines of inquiry. Investigators have obtained and reviewed available surveillance footage. Witnesses have been identified and interviewed. Investigators are reconstructing Mrs. Waddell's movements leading up to the time she was reported missing. Relevant locations have been examined and reported site scenes continues to be assessed. Information obtained from the general public was also recorded, evaluated, and assigned for investigation. Inquiries have been made with the relevant persons and entities, and those inquiries are ongoing. Digital material, photographs, and video recordings obtained from persons within the relevant area are being reviewed. The investigative team is also examining whether any person, vessel, or vehicle moved to the relevant locations during this critical period. All information received is being assessed alongside the established timelines, available surveillance footage, witness accounts, and the findings from each search operation. This process is intended to develop a clear and accurate account of Ms. Waddell's movements. A coordinated search operation was initiated and has continued across the relevant maritime space, coastal surroundings, to include extensive marine surface searches by the Grenada Coast Guard, covering Point Celine's Point to Happy Hill, underwater searches by the Grenada Coast Guard and local dive professionals, shoreline and coastal searches with the support of the St. George's University K-9 unit, examination of the immediate area surrounding the last confirmed sightings of Ms. Waddell,